Hi, hello. We're in the Death March of Passive Pixels. I'm Edwin. Dorian, how are you?
Dying yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, my hand is slowly starting to have its skin peel away from the fireballs that I created on the grill. So, you
Yeah, you're
know,
trying to be an IRL King of the Hill, right?
I mean, I actually am watching a lot of King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know how far I am into season two, but I am in season two. So,
Well,
you know,
I'm glad the show continued long enough for you to do that at least. That's good.
we grill in here. I cut the grass, which I probably irritated my burnt hand more, and it started creating boils. And I even actually fixed something in my new car. So I'm just saying that Hank Hill made me into a man. Okay, King of the Hill makes men. Um. All right. Should we just do the segment right at the top? Whatever. Yeah. Cool.
We can. Just as a side note, I don't know if this makes a difference because I don't record. Well, I mean, I do record on Zencastr. My little squiggly lines aren't going up on Zencastr, but I'm sure
Oh,
it's
I
fine,
see them
right?
on my side.
Okay, then it's fine. Okay, just want to make sure. Cool.
All right, cool. So, explanation, people. We have, I think, 5 episodes left. I don't know. I'm not really counting. And if it ends up going into tendies where we have this segment, oh well, whatever. So what I wanted to do was, we have a lot of topic lists on the show. A lot of it is just what we're watching. What I wanted to do is just break it by decade. First, we're going to do 80s and anything older. The next episode is going to be 90s. After that, 2000s, 2010s, and then I don't know, 2020s. I don't know. I'm canceling the show because I don't want to think, but here I am making it more complicated for myself. Anyways, what I wanted to do was we just throw in whatever topic we want at this point that feels like, before passive dies, what is something that we would have wanted to get in an episode one way or another. So, yeah, that is the purpose of at least the first topic list. So I'm going to go ahead and just read out mine because it's short. Dorian, he had way more stuff. He's old, so, understandable. Mine was pretty short. It was Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, Michael Jackson Thriller, Cool Hand Luke, Scarface, and Heathers. So that's the little thing. If I have to dig into my actual list, which I guess I'll get out of my way, Liza P, Eddie Murphy Delirious, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, King of the Hill Season 1 and 2, Saw X, Zoolander, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Child's Play. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. If I have to get to there, cool, whatever. Dorian, give me yours.
So, in usual me being a dumbass fashion, I kind of misunderstood the assignment
No, no,
just a
you did not.
smidge.
No, you did not. You
Um,
you overshot it. There's a
I
difference because,
did.
like, I go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely overshot a little bit, but that's okay. Some there's a couple things that I have talked about on the show before, obviously, so I can skip over them, but they just felt so essential to me, and I thought I was making full five lists that I couldn't leave them off of there. And by the way, I should mention any of my five that I mentioned here; these aren't like a top five for me. I didn't rank these, and there are some stuff that is left specifically off just because we've talked about it so much before, and I wasn't going to bring it up again. So these aren't like definitive top five lists or anything for me. But anyways, so I'll mention these quickly here. For albums, I got Doolittle by the Pixies, Straight Out of Compton by the NWA,
Oh, hell yeah.
Moving Pictures by Rush, Boston by Boston, and Who's Next by The Who. And then in terms of movies, I threw on here Blade Runner, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Taxi Driver, and The Godfather. For television shows, this is a little bit harder for me, but I went Who's the Boss, The Golden Girls, Kids in the Hall,
Wait,
Saved by the Bells, and Inspector Gadget.
wait, hold
And then
on. Golden Girls was 80s. I could have sworn that it was like early 90s. No.
no, it started off late 80s and then kind of bled. There was another show that technically started off very late 80s too, went to the 90s. I didn't include that, and that's of course Seinfeld. I consider that
Um.
90s, but
Yeah, no. Seinfeld is sure. I know it had like what? Isn't it the first season?
first
89.
season,
No,
yeah,
no. You were so 90s. There's
yeah,
no reason to do that.
yeah.
Um.
And then video games quickly: Super Mario Brothers 3, Maniac Mansion, Metroid, Sim City, and Punch Out.
God, I'm an idiot. I completely forgot that the NES was 80s. I'm dumb. I'm
Yeah,
adding Duck
lots of.
Hunt to mine.
Oh, Duck Hunt's a great choice too. And then just quickly, my list for the week was Todd Field, Signalis, Theatrhythm, Final Bar Line, Eternal Darkness, Spark the Electric Jester, The Messenger, The Exorcist Believer, Dumb Money, Saw X, and Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2.
Oh, you watch both of them. Oh, okay. All right. You know what? Yeah, I know that we set the rules right now for 80s things. Fuck it. Let's throw Nightmare on Elm Street here
Well, that is
first.
'80s, so you're good.
Exactly. No, it fits in. It fits
Yeah,
in.
it's
And
perfectly, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, if I hadn't just watched it, I'd be throwing it in here. Nightmare on Elm Street actually kicks ass. I
Yeah, it
can't
does.
believe how good that movie is. So there's 3 movies here. Fuck it, I'll just throw them in here right now because I don't really care. Friday the 13th sucks. Boring movie. Boring movie. A sleeper. My God. And it takes so long to kill these children. If you're gonna be this boring, at least kill these children quick. Anyways, Friday the 13th. Bleh. Child's Play. It's fine. Whatever. I just kind of needed Chucky being more of an asshole immediately, and it just took way too long. I just prefer him to be a joke like he is in the later movies. So those out of the way. Do you want to say anything about that before let's get the veggies out of the way so we can get to Nightmare? So what do you want to
Yeah,
say about the veggies?
yeah, no, Friday the 13th, I agree. It's always been my least like, and again, I've only seen a couple of them, so I shouldn't comment on the entire series as a whole. But
I
specifically from
will.
the first one, specifically from the first one, I think it's definitely the weakest if you're looking at the big 3 slasher movies from that time of Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. I just think Jason as a character is infinitely less interesting than those other guys, personally.
Mama's boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Chucky, so Child's Play, the only one I've ever seen is the reboot with frickin' Audrey Plaza. So that is definitely a project for me. So yeah, I want to watch more. I've heard it gets really stupid and really fun, and those will probably where I'll be starting to appreciate it more. But yeah,
All right,
should be
so
fun.
I just have to say that that was Craven. That man might know what he's doing. He might know a thing or two about horror because yeah, man, I'm actually just kind of impressed because Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't find it scary at all. It probably, doesn't help that I was in the living room, but I still, man, I was just so impressed by just how visually striking this movie is. And let's be honest, man, the idea that Freddy kills you in dreams, it is a perfect horror setup. It is perfect. It is flawless. It is, hey, what is something that everyone needs to do? Everyone needs to poop. Well, no, we can't make a horror movie about that because it's poop. It's inherently funny. What does everyone need to do? Sleep. That's fucking terrifying. You are vulnerable, and that's when you die. It's perfect. He's a perfect villain in which, of course, you have to nerf him down to the ground and make him incompetent because if not, there would be no tension because Freddy Krueger could easily kill anyone if he wasn't incompetent. So yeah, no. Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking incredible movie. It's just a good movie, and we're gonna have to go to spoilers because God, the ending hurt me. So you say your piece.
Well, to your point about not being scared, I mean, I'm sure there are some people that get scared by slashers, but I'm not one of them too. Like, I don't find Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Scream.
Yeah, I don't find it scary. I don't find Halloween scary. I don't find any of those movies particularly scary. I mean, Freddy's creepy. Like, he's got a creepy design, and I like that. But I don't find the movies like scary at all. But it's great. Nightmare on Elm Street's fantastic, and I think, like you said, like being able to play with dreams is it just gives you so much like creativity and stuff you can do with that, and how you can fuck around with that and kind of keep audiences on the edge of their seat and do different things with it. So I think it has an inherent advantage in that situation alone, being able to do cool stuff like that. And yeah, it's a great movie. I had seen it, I believe, ages ago, but I didn't really remember much of it. It holds up fantastic. Wes Craven's awesome. And yeah, the movie is just it rules, man. Like Freddy's awesome. He's a dope. Like, and it gets worse as it goes along too. I'm sure. Like I'll
Evergreen
talk a
for
little.
horror.
I'll talk a little bit about two. But I'm sure it just gets stupider and stupider with him. But yeah, he's like I was saying to you, like I love when he's like just he gets hit, he sells it like a fucking WWE wrestler going down like hard, like he's just like flopping all over the place and
These
just
little
like
teenagers just sort of bop him, and this man like he turns into the Rock like after he gets a stunnered.
yeah, or like the burglars in Home Alone, like they're just he's so incompetent. But that's it. If he was even slightly more competent, it wouldn't be a challenge. He'd just like snap his fingers, and these kids would be dead. So, yeah, just
Hey guys, it's me. Ah, damn it! I killed them immediately. Oh well, there goes the movie.
no doubt. But yeah, no, it's a great movie. It's fantastic, and If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend it. I will be doing a topic on this for sure. That's my plan. Actually, that's why I watched 1 and 2. I don't know. Actually, you'll have to explain why you watched it, but I started watching it because I know I had an episode planned next year. So I was like, "Fuck, I better get on these."
No, I mean, I just Friday the 13th just passed up and I was thinking, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for some horror-ish something, right? And I got on HBO and I saw that A Nightmare on Elm Street was there. And I was like, huh, you know what? I enjoy me a Wes Craven. I can delay watching Scream 2 even longer. Why not watch A Nightmare on Elm Street? So it was just on a complete whim. I'm not gonna lie, I really hate how look, this is weird. I I hate how pretty Freddy looks sometimes whenever they put him in like these thumbnails on HBO. Like he looks like he's posing. You can definitely tell that he has human eyes and he looks like he's trying to have like a little like this is my better side when they show that picture on there. I hate it, man. I don't know why. It just but that's besides the point. Anyways, what I wanted to say as well is that I am just shocked by some of the striking visuals that the movie has. My favorite one is easily whenever she's in one of the dream sequences and the dead bodies being dragged through the school, and then you just see like the legs flopped up and then being dragged away. It's sick. I don't have anything else to say. Just very striking, awesome.
Very,
So
atmospheric, that entire scene. I like it a lot.
So my joke review on Letterbox, I had it ready to go, but then the ending completely derailed me and it hurt me, and I couldn't include a joke review. My joke review was going to be so a little. It was going to be something along the lines of, oh, so this movie takes more advantage of dreams than Inception does. It was going to be something like that, right? And then the ending happens. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go into spoilers for this one. So, the Nightmare on Elm Street spoilers. So, 3, 2, 1. Dude, fucking Nancy is running the table. She has him. It is fucking over. There is no reason that Freddy is ever gonna come back. And then she gets cocky and says, I'm gonna take away all your power. He disappears. She thinks, oh, cool. I made my own reality. He was faking it the entire time. And then the Freddy sweater comes up on the top of the car, and it's like, no, she lost.
Shout out Freddie Mobile.
The Freddy Mobile is going to haunt my dreams because it is the spike on the 1 yard line of it is a heartbreaking defeat to see that Nancy had that shit on lock. She home alone the fuck out of him in that house. And if she just, by the way, another thing, Nancy's mom dying might be the most album cover metal ass shit I've ever seen. Like it was awesome. But I just it hurt me. It hurt me so much because I love Nancy. This girl was awesome the entire fucking movie. This girl, she's tenacious. She's oh man, I gotta fall asleep. I'm gonna scream. I'm in a dream. That didn't work. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna put my hand on a steaming pipe to wake myself up with pain. Awesome. This girl is perfect. And to just have her lose like that at the very end, oh my god, it is probably the only time in a horror movie where I've just been like, no, you had it! You had it! I almost felt like this is what sports fans feel like whenever their team fucks it up at the last moment. Oh, it hurt.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and not to. I'll try to like don't take too much into this. Like, I don't want you to
Mm.
think I'm spoiling future movies for you or anything by
Oh, I
saying it.
don't care. I don't give a shit.
Okay, yeah, and I'm sure you don't care that much, anyways.
I'm
But
gonna watch them, but like, come on, like,
yeah, no, fair.
six sequels.
But I feel like this is just kind of this is kind of the franchise of like it feels very cruel, and I have a feeling that most of these people are not going to win at the end of the day against Freddy, because for different reasons, greed, vanity, whatever you call it, thinking you haven't won, and then like you said, spiking at the 1 yard line and fucking up. So it definitely feels very cruel. But I do like that. Like that's like I like horror movies like that. Something about a happy ending in a horror movie always just feels off to me. I'm not as big on that. So yeah.
This is the problem is that horror movies, they never have good characters. Nancy's awesome. She's cool. Nancy's the best. Like, just look. I'm about to say some real offensive shit right now. Okay, Laurie Strode has no reason to be as big as a horror icon as she is. Okay, there's no reason when we have Nancy on Nightmare on Elm Street right over there. Okay, the fact that Nancy isn't as beloved, and like the fact that I don't know about Nancy at all until watching this movie lets me know that there are wrong things in this world that we don't know. Most people don't know about Nancy as well as they do fucking Laurie Strode from Halloween. Okay, it is unfair because Nancy deserves more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I do. I'm a big Laurie Strode fan as well. But shout out Nancy. Nancy had a good run against it. Like she made most of the right decisions. But
It's like the last moment, every
yeah,
single move
you
was
can't.
right. Every
Yeah,
single one.
you can't let your guard down even for a second against a dastardly being like Freddy Krueger. And she
Oh
took her
my
eye off the
god.
prize for just a second. And that was enough.
It was the wrong move. That's the problem. Like it wasn't even like cockiness. It was literally just that's not the rules that Freddy plays by. And it's like, god damn it. Oh. And
I
also I
am.
just go for it.
I was just gonna say I'm very excited when you watch the second one because have you? Do you know anything about it?
I know nothing other than that Nancy comes back in 3. That's it. I know
Okay.
nothing else. I'm actually look. Friday the 13th, miss. Child's Play, miss. The Nightmare landed. You get. I've actually. Isn't there 7 of them? There's 7 of them, right?
There's a lot. Yeah.
Okay, like I hope there's 7 of the mainline ones before you start getting into the reboots. But like if there's 7 main ones, like oh, thank you, Wes Craven.
Yeah, there's 7 main ones.
That's
Um,
it was meant to be.
but the only things I'll say about the second one to just prepare you a little bit,
It's gonna suck.
it's very, very, very homoerotic. So get ready
Yo,
for that.
yes!
It is. You could say the Top Gun beach scene is a big influence in Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Yes!
So get ready for that.
On Gay Street!
Um, and yeah, you basically just get Freddy trying to control a kid, and it's fantastic. It's really good. It's bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it is not a good movie at all.
Obviously.
I'll say this right now, but it's fun. It's absolutely fun, and I think you'll enjoy it with that in mind.
Look, man, horror movies, you're only allowed to have one movie that's like, oh yeah, okay, that was the serious one. And then afterwards, it's like, bro, we can make this shit cheap and make money. Who cares?
Yeah, that's definitely I think with what they went with here.
All
But yeah,
right,
no,
so
they're both great. Or sorry, they're not both great movies. One is a fantastic movie, and then just briefly on two, like I said, I'll if you're gonna watch that, well, I'm sure I'll punt it to whenever you talk about that. But yeah, fun movie, fun movies. Can't wait to
yeah,
watch
I,
more.
I will watch more because I want to see how the hell they bring back Nancy because like that's I don't know, man. That seems pretty definitive to seeing the Freddy Mobile just kind of take the teenagers, and it's like, you're in my world now, bitch. You're gonna die one way or another. Which I don't know, man. Like that feels like a Metal Gear Solid 2 ass ending where it's like you just kind of are supposed to let yourself stew a little bit with the mystery. And the fact that, there she comes back, it's like, okay, well, what dumb shit are you gonna do to justify her coming back? So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street is damn, you know what? I kind of might actually want this movie out of 10.
The first one's a 4 out of 5 for me, and the second one's a 2.5 out of 5 for me.
All right, I guess from here, I'm gonna throw an album in here because why not? I don't fucking care. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors. Now, this is an album I found out not long ago. All I know is that I just wanted to give it a minute or two. I can't really say much because all I know is pretty much everything else that's already been documented about this, which is that they all fucking hated each other and they were all high on coke when they made this music. And not only that, the album is awesome, and the album is part of the uh, Congress's library of important works of art or something or whatever the fuck it's called. All I know is that combination of facts is incredible, and some of the songs that are on this album are sick. And of course, we cannot forget about The Chain. We can't forget about, oh my god, I said that and then literally the song name left my head. Uh I'm an idiot. Do you know this album?
Which song specifically are you trying to think of?
I keep wanting to say Roxanne, but that doesn't sound right. It's
I've
definitely a woman's name.
I don't know the song. Then no, I've heard the album, but I don't know which one you particularly you're talking about. Unfortunately.
Oh well, okay. Of course, there's Dreams. Dreams is great. You Make Love and Fun. Just there's so many good songs. And here's the thing. I've gone through a lot of old albums, and I realized that a lot of times the albums are just like you would buy the albums just for the singles. Occasionally there would be some deeper cuts that were pretty good, but with the way that music was distributed, a lot of times the singles were the hot ones. Those were the ones that everyone always wanted. And what I really liked about this album specifically, when I found it feels so dumb to say found it, like if I'm the only person who found this album. Well, when I first listened to it, I realized, oh man, like no, this is an actual album. This doesn't feel like filler tracks until you get to the singles. Like no, there are some. I mean, now they're not now. It's not like they're unknown, but it feels like the lesser known tracks are still just as good. Okay, no, I'm imagining it. I'm imagining that name then, because I could have sworn that there was a woman's name in one of these song titles, but I think it might be just one of their famous singles. Anyways, Dreams, Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way. Just these are all fucking great songs, and that's it. I just wanted to get this album out because why not? It's my show. I just want to have it on the record that I really like Fleetwood Mac's Rumors.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac, they've got some really good bangers. I don't know, they're another band that I don't know if I can say I've listened to an entire album of theirs, which is an unfortunate thing with me in a lot of music. I
Just
find it really,
this one, man. Just listen to Rumors. Like you get that, you're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, this is at their peak.
yeah, I'll definitely try. But I've definitely, like, I mean, You Can Go Your Own Way is obviously a super famous song, and I like that song a lot. But yeah, no, good band for sure. I agree.
Which I gotta say, seriously, the chain is easily just like, oh my god, I fucking love the chain. That's it. That's it. I don't know what else I can say. That's it. I just wanted to get it out there. We're done. Your turn.
Well, let's bundle 4 of these 5 albums together, and there's a reason I'm going to do that,
Oh hell yeah.
besides the fact that I got way more than you, but let's do that. So, Doolittle, Pixies, Moving Pictures, Rush, Boston, Boston, Who's Next to Who. You may be wondering, what the fuck do all these albums have in common? Well, let me explain to you. There's a little game called Rock Band. And in Rock Band, so
Same.
all of these albums and well, not all the entire albums, I should say, but a lot of these songs on these albums I had heard growing up. My mother was really big into music, specifically Pixies, the Doolittle by the Pixies. That was an album that was played constantly in our house. So a lot of those songs, I just had them in memory, and I really did like them. But in terms of the whole albums and the songs on these albums, Rock Band was really, really influential to me in just getting myself back into music, listening to more songs. And they eventually, for DLC, started releasing whole albums, not just individual songs, but like whole album packs. And every one of those albums, every one of those albums you could buy in the game. It's a DLC pack. And I did for all those ones, and I love them all. They're all great for different reasons, obviously. But yeah, big fans. Pixies, Doolittle. I would love to see that band live. I'm very sad I haven't, but I think they're fantastic. That album in general is just so great. There's so many songs. Debaser is what I like to call an angry song. I love listening to when I'm angry about something. I just want to scream. I
Oh
think it's a
hell yeah.
great song for that. Big fan of that. Rush. I mean, one of the greatest drummers of all time. Obviously, Tom Sawyer is just a fucking classic, and there's so many great songs on that album. And they're of course Canadians, so love supporting the Canadian boys. Boston. This is a band that I actually knew nothing about before I downloaded that album on Rock Band. There was a point where I was like, "Oh, a new song on Rock Band. Let's just download this pack." I didn't even vet it or care what the music was. I just bought it and played it because I usually play drums and I like drumming stuff. And Boston was just, I love this album. There's so many songs. Of course, one of the most famous ones on this feeling is not hooked on a feeling. Fuck. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Hold on while I look this up. 1 second.
By
Because
the way,
this is gonna bug me.
I'll take over here just because it is necessary to say the entire specter of all these albums, just like you said it even includes Fleetwood Mac, because of course, Go Your Own Way was my first exposure of Fleetwood Mac, and that was, I'm pretty sure, a song in Rock Band 2 or Rock Band 3. I don't
Sure
remember.
was.
It was one of
Sure
those
was.
two. All I know
um,
is that it needs to be said across this entire music topic. It cannot be understated how important Harmonix as a company is to introducing classic rock to anyone of our age. Like, it
Mhm.
is so unbelievably important that without Guitar Hero or Rock Band, none of these musical artists would have had that extra shot of the last 3 decades thrown right onto them. It is incredible that honestly, with the rumors of like just not even rumors, I guess just Bobby Kotick kind of throwing a little bit of a fire into, hey, maybe Phil Spencer brings back Guitar Hero. I legitimately would want that just because I need more people that know music to dig things out to the present to me and go, hey, you might like this. So please, for the love of God, I will take another Guitar Hero. And yes, we must speak the specter of Rock Band. So it's so important to my life, to my musical taste. Hell, I found Paramore through Rock Band 2. That's what you get. That was my first exposure to them. It is also one of my least favorite songs now, probably because I've heard it like 7 billion times now at this point, but I still like that song, damn it. So, yes, no, Rock Band, incredibly important to just literally all the music that I like now.
Yeah, no, same for sure. More Than a Feeling was the song. I think I said Hooked on a Feeling. Maybe I said more. I don't
More
know, but
than a
absolutely.
I don't know
I won't
the
attempt
rest.
to do that. That's
Yeah.
way too high for me, but good job. And then the Who, of course. I mean the Who. It's the fucking Who. And yeah, Who's Next? Fantastic album with just so many incredible bangers on it. Baba O'Reilly, such a treat to play and listen to.
Oh my
And
god,
yeah,
I fucking love
just
Bob O'Reilly.
Baba really so good. I do want to give a special. My only honorable, I did have an honorable mention in music section because I was like, man, I can't believe I'm not fucking including this. But you know, I just these five were just more important to me. But Pink Floyd, The Wall, of course, is just such an incredibly iconic album. And Pink Floyd is just the perfect, put it on the background vibe kind of music to it. So big fan of that. And then the only album I had on here that really wasn't rock band related was Straight Outta Compton by the NWA. Always been a big rap fan. That was my dad's side. He listened to a lot of rap growing up.
Really
And
dope.
yeah, yeah. And Straight Outta Compton, man. I mean, you can't like just overstate how important this album is for so many people. Of course, it launched Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Easy E, and just it's a great album. Obviously, you made a movie out of the damn thing. So yeah, no, there's just there's so much to love with that album. I think it's a great fucking album, and definitely, if I was to make like a top 10 rap album list, it would be up there for me for sure.
I gotta admit, so when I heard oh god, I forgot the album name for a second. When I heard Straight Outta Compton, I don't remember how long ago. It was definitely a couple of years ago. I was shocked at how well, first off, it is I always like hearing rap music from okay. 80s definitely has that certain tone. Like it definitely always sounds very lo-fi. 90s feels like it has the 90s hip hop feels like it has like a good amount of guitar. 2000s almost feels as old as the 80s because it sounds like they have that little hints of electronic in there. And really, I'm just picturing, I don't know, I'm picturing Laffy Taffy whenever I think 2000s rap. Do you remember that song?
Not offhand,
No,
no.
okay. Don't look it up. It fucking sucks.
All right,
No,
fair.
no. Like I'd like I can hear the beat. Dut, 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 dut. Like it's so like disgustingly electronic. But that was the time. So, anyways, back to Straight Outta Compton. I like how you can definitely hear the age in there, but what I was more impressed at is that the feeling behind the music of just these four little kids that just want to fuck things up and just create trouble. Like it feels so like it's that still feels timeless. But what I like imagining through that is thinking, okay, so I watched a video earlier today on The Simpsons, right? And they brought up the fact that Simpsons now is just like The Simpsons is owned by Disney and no one blinks, and then you think about The Simpsons when it was like in the first few seasons, and it's like a complete affront to humanity, and it is the most offensive thing that you could watch on television, and how just so far we are from that. It's funny because I remember thinking that Straight Outta Compton Now it's like, okay, yeah, no, this is still like sort of that same kind of like, I'm a teenager and I want to fuck shit up. And then I think about what it must have been like listening into the 80s, and it's like, oh my god, they must have thought that these little black kids were the devil. Like they were trying to corrupt America's youth, which I know that's exactly what happened, but shit, man, it's fun to think about it, listening to it removed like so many decades later.
Well, it is funny that like it's always like in the 70s and 80s, obviously, like that was predominantly was music that was evil. Remember Kiss, right? How
Yep.
Knights in Satan's service, how they were evil and corrupting children of the youth. So it is fascinating to look back on that time period and see, how music was like, some people were just like the devil basically when it came to music.
Just God bless that there isn't too much of that now, or at least not enough to have governments continuously looking over, like, the fuck you doing over there? Do you understand how many notes we get about this? Do we just need a check to have people shut the fuck up? But yeah, no, that's what was it the other day? Just because with my new car, it doesn't feel right to be listening to podcasts in there, so I just keep putting on music. And one of the albums that I put on was Dre's 2001, and I was just like, man, I'm just like, I can hear the era. I can absolutely hear the late 90s in it, but these beats are just still so good. And that's what I think kind of carried a lot of Straight Outta Compton, is the fact that even though it's just these kids that I don't really think that they were I don't think like really they were talented when it came to rapping. I don't feel like that was like the real draw of it. I think more of the draw was just the shit that they were saying, and then Dre's beats holding it down really hard. Like it was the vibe and like the image that they were selling more than like the actual raw talent.
Yeah, Dre's production's incredible, man, and that would never stop. Like you go from that to the first Chronic, and then 2001, obviously Dre's Chronic,
I
and then
By the way, did you ever
it,
listen to Compton?
I'm sorry.
Did you ever
Oh,
listen to Compton?
bits and pieces of it. I don't know if I've ever listened to the entire album. I should. I really
You
should.
should. It's actually like really good. Like I know that Detox was just like never gonna fucking happen. So like this is the best that you could have gotten. And I actually kinda like it.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's really good. I should. Is it still an Apple fucking Music exclusive?
No, wait, there's no fucking way.
Because I know
Okay,
it
wait,
for
was
a
that
while, but
really? Okay, I'm curious. I need to see if on Spotify. By the way, dropping news. Um Important changes to your Zencastr free plan. Effective November 16th, 2023, recording capabilities will no longer be available on the hobbyist plan, which will transition to a hosting only plan. So I might be actually canceling the show even sooner and be wrapping things up sooner because
where did you see that?
they literally sent me an email
Oh
15 minutes
god.
ago.
Oh no. Ah.
Well, the Splinterverse is about to collapse. They realized that we were doing this shit for free still.
Oh, I didn't even get that email. They don't care about me. That's
No,
fine.
it might just be the next time that you log in that it actually does that.
Oof.
Okay, yeah, Compton is on Spotify now, so you should be able to listen through it there.
Oh, good. Yeah, good to know. I'll definitely do that.
Mhm. All right, well, I'm sorry for a time to kill. An hour to kill has now been killed through this. Awesome.
Yeah, that blows. I'll have to look and see. I mean, we can always record local and sync with the clap, so I guess we're gonna have to do that now. But that kind of makes three
Things more
people.
annoying.
Well, yeah, and that makes even more than two just a nightmare in case you're out of sync or
Yeah.
something like that. Fuck, what a shit show.
And then if one person drops, it's
Yeah,
like, ooh, ooh, like
yeah,
the episode's gone.
yeah. That does suck. Oof.
All right, so I'm gonna get the other album out of the way because it kind of fits in a little bit into the Guitar Hero Rock Band thing. Michael Jackson's Thriller. I want Beat It was the first song that I've heard. Like I can picture clearly in my mind listening to and knowing it was Michael Jackson. Technically, it's not the first Michael Jackson that I heard because the first one would actually be from Rush Hour 2. What about Don't Stop? Don't stop till you get it on. Come on. Like I had no idea that that was a Michael Jackson song. I thought it was just Chris Tucker saying gibberish. But like I'm a child, so like what would you expect? I was 6. But the first song that I can remember is Beat It, and it was from Undercover Brother. And I just remember thinking that that scene from Undercover Brother is sick, and I love the guitar. That's oh my god, who's it's not Eric Clapton, right? Who did that? It's a who did that guitar solo? It's definitely a famous guitarist, and Eddie Van is it Van Halen who did that? Beat It guitar solo. Yep, it was Van Halen. Okay. Eddie Van Halen doing that guitar solo from Beat It, dope. Anyways, the reason that I bring this up is that my enjoyment of this then kicks in later when Guitar Hero World Tour comes out, and Beat It is a track on there. It pushes me a little bit further in, and I find Billie Jean, and I actually think Billie Jean might be my favorite Michael Jackson song. Like, I just love the beat of it. I love the like just everything in the tone of that song is perfect. And then it isn't until a couple of years ago that I decided, oh, actually, you know what? I want to listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller. I've never actually stopped to listen to it. I know I've listened to Thriller, the song, in between this point, but I like Thriller, but it's not really like one of those songs that sticks to it. But like these three songs, Beat It, Billie Jean, and oh wait, is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough? Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is on that as well, right? No, that's not. Never mind. That's Bad, right? Yeah, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is Off the Wall. Whoops. All right. Well, at least then Billie Jean and Beat It both being on the same album is absolutely mind blowing to me, because I feel like those two alone are songs that anchor albums, and both of these are on the same one. And then I listen to Thriller and I find out Thriller is on there too. Like the literal album of Thriller is an actual killer's row of single after single after single after single, that it almost feels like an 8-barrel shotgun gets shot into you. Like, this album is sick and I love it. And it, I'm not gonna lie, maybe the Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson song is really weird because like they're fighting over a girl, and then I'm thinking the entire time about the age difference between the two of them, and it's like this is a little weird. And also Michael Jackson just speaking, I don't ever want to hear Michael Jackson speak. I don't. I just want to hear him sing. I don't want to hear, hey, how's it going, Paul? Yeah, I love this girl. Like I'm so fine. I don't need that in my life. But like this album is just so good on when it comes to the layering, all the little beats that it has. Like, oh god, I just really like this album. That's it.
Yeah, that's another one that I've really like. I've listened to so many individual Michael Jackson songs, but definitely never listened to a whole album, like from start to finish. But so many bangers, so many recognizable songs,
Again,
fantastic music,
this is the
fantastic
old one,
music
man.
videos
Like
too.
just if you start from the beginning of this one and you get to the end and you're like, holy shit, I think I know all these songs, and they were all in one album.
Yeah, that's fair. They probably are. I probably have listened to every song on that album just out of order, but yeah, no, just great stuff.
So yeah, that's all I got from the music thing. I I don't know where to go from here. Do we just keep doing the 80s thing? Was there something else you want to throw in next?
Oh, we can do 80s. We can keep going with that for sure. I mean, let's bang out I'll bang out a couple of these TV shows because I really don't care too much about them. I just, again, I
Sure.
thought it was making everything. Who's the Boss and the Golden Girls are kind of on here for the same reason. This is just me getting home from school, or not school. Sorry. Well, yeah, school.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
would be
yes,
school, yeah.
yeah, no, it was school at that time still. So because that's when I was watching these. So yeah, coming home from school, watching some of these. The Who's the Boss obsession. I don't know what really began with that. I just love
Hmm?
Tony Danza. I thought he was hilarious. And I still remember being really mad that you could only get Who's the Boss season 1 on DVD, and they never made more. I guess it wasn't popular enough. I don't know if they have now, but back then you could only find, it was like season 1 and maybe 2 or something on DVD. It might have been a thing together, but yeah, you can never find more than that. It always pissed me off. It's like, man, I love this show. It gets no respect. The Golden Girls. I mean, Golden Girls are just classic. You gotta love those crazy ladies. All pass away now. Rest in peace to all of them. But yeah, they were.
Oh god, that's depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing. Very depressing. Betty White
Betty
was the
White
last
was,
one.
yeah, she was really
Yeah.
holding it down.
Yeah, she was the last one going there for a while, but unfortunately she passed away. But yeah, they're just hilarious and just classic sitcom stuff. Kids in the Hall started in the 80s, technically more of a 90s show, but whatever, it was 88, I think, so I'm counting it. Really classic Canadian sketch comedy show. Just funny stuff, man. If you've never seen it, definitely, check out some YouTube videos. They did a lot of funny stuff. They did bring it back for a reboot, but it was awful. We don't talk about that. But the original run of the show, just great stuff. Saved by the Bell, that's another one that's kind of, 89 and then into the 90s. I don't know why, but I consider it an 80s show. It just feels like more of an 80s show to me. And yeah, just that's another one I watched religiously when I was younger. And just I loved watching their like go through school, then like you had the college years and stuff like that. I found that was super interesting. And then I wanted to throw a cartoon on here. So Inspector Gadget, that was always my favorite as a kid. I was a big fan of Inspector Gadget. I still remember, I was pissed off because I always wanted to see what Dr. Claw looked like. I think that's his name, Dr. Claw. And they're like, oh, we're releasing an action figure of Dr. Claw. And so you can finally get a first look at his face. And I was like, oh, cool. So I'm just going to go to a store and see what he looks like. But they had a big fucking sticker over it that like, you couldn't remove. It was just ingrained in the box. You couldn't actually see what he looked like until you bought it. So I was pissed off with that. But yeah.
That's evil. All right. I was curious. I wanted to see, you know how Saved by the Bell originally had a one season show before it, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What was that called? Fuck.
Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
That's it. Good Morning, Miss Bliss. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. That one was 87. I was just trying to figure out how that fed into
Right.
it.
Yeah, it was a couple years earlier. Yeah.
Anyways, straight up, I looked up at 80s shows and I didn't see a single one that I recognized. And I was like, well, okay, maybe I'm out of my depth here. I guess just shout out here because I think, wait, was Cheers 70s or 80s?
That's a good question. Let me
What
see.
was Cheers?
Cheers.
82. Okay, you know what? Shout
Yeah,
out to Cheers.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have not had enough experience to really claim it, but like the few episodes that I've watched, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is solid. The other thing in that same breath, I wouldn't been able to claim Golden Girls. I have not watched enough Golden Girls to claim it, but I have watched enough to say shout out to Golden Girls. That is solid. I do love it makes me sad because there's just some sharp writing that was going on at least across those two shows that it actually annoys me now that whenever I watch any modern day sitcom that like is a no name show that no one gives a shit about, you can definitely tell even the writers that are on there don't give a shit about it because they're not putting in their A game whatsoever. So like I just I can't really speak too much from personal experience, but from the few episodes that I watched of Cheers and Golden Girls, you recognize why those shows are still remembered this many years later.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. Cheers is one I really haven't watched a lot of at all, but I have seen like a few episodes, and you can definitely tell there's quality there for sure. But yeah, I haven't seen enough to claim it, as you said.
So I already renewed Paramount Plus. So the whoops of the I named an episode Paramount Death March, but oh well, whatever. By the way, guess what? You know how I told you that I had that 50% off coupon?
Yes.
Did not apply. Did
Rip.
not apply. I
Big rip.
thanks fucking Paramount. Anyways, that's the thing. I tried complaining last time. They were just like, oh, we just have to wait till next year, and I fucking didn't, and it didn't apply, bitches. Anyways, I'm not gonna be too mad about that because I really do think I am gonna watch Cheers at some point, and then it's always weird to think about the fact that Frasier is a spin-off of Cheers because like Frasier feels like its own show, and it's weird to think about that Frasier is probably the most successful spin-off TV show just ever.
Yeah, no, it has to be, right? Like it's pretty crazy. Like it is wild to think that's where Frasier come from because you don't think of Frasier as a Cheers thing, but it definitely is.
Yeah.
So definitely one of the biggest for sure. It'd be like if they spun off like George into his own Seinfeld show, and that went on for like 6 years or whatever.
Actually, it feels. Mm, 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 mm. God, I feel like it would be like if you found out that Seinfeld itself was a spin-off of something. Like it feels like it's like that major where it's like, oh, you have no
Yeah,
connections to anything, and then
no,
you're like,
that's fair. That's
what?
fair.
So
Yeah,
you know,
no, that's a good point.
I think that's about it for TV section. I guess I'm just gonna put this here: Duck Hunt. That's it's technically my first game that I ever played because it's right there on the cart with Super Mario Bros. And that's the thing. The good thing is that with that cart, I can claim both of them. Fuck you. I don't remember which one I played first, so I'll just say it was both of them. Of course, I Super Mario Bros. One. Of course, it's impossible to say anything about that game that hasn't already been said. Hell, literally earlier today, my daughter was sitting in my lap, and I decided to grab my little Mario Game and Watch. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have. Not in person, but I've seen them like online and stuff like that.
Well, anyways, I have one right here that's on my desk. It's basically just my little alarm clock, right? And I just handed it to her. Of course, her being a child that's seen mostly smartphones, was trying to touch the screen, and it's like, well, we're gonna have to condition that out of your hands. Um, but like, it's Super Mario Bros. Like this game basically started the medium, and I don't feel like that's an exaggeration because sure, video games are around, but video games did not really start until Mario happened. So yeah, like, just wait, I didn't even start there. I was talking about Duck Hunt. Damn. uh so Duck Hunt, just okay, I need hold on, I need to stop playing this. This is
The power of Nintendo, folks.
dude, why'd I do this? Why did I start this? Look, man, you can never not just start 1-1 and not. Anyways, this game is great. Oh god, you can tell that I'm canceling the show. Um, where the hell's the cord? I need my watch here. Anyways, I was talking about Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt. It's so simple. You just got a little gun. You point it at the TV and you shoot. I suck at this game. I hate that fucking dog. But still, it was just very simple fun. I don't have anything else other to say than shout out to Duck Hunt. I like you.
Yeah, Duck Hunt. I mean, I think everyone remembers Duck Hunt from the classic combo pack where you'd get that. You'd get Super Mario Bros. There was a third one too. A lot of the time, Track and Field. I think. I want to say it's like Track and Field or
Was
something like
was
that.
there a triple what?
Yeah, there was a triple pack. I think it was Track and Field.
I did not
'Cause-
know that.
yeah, no, there definitely was. I'm pretty sure. Someone can Google fact check that or not. But yeah, no, that was and Duck Hunt's a classic. Obviously, that stupid fucking dog. I always just tried to shoot him because he annoyed the shit out
Yes,
of me.
of course.
But yeah, no, shut up, Duck Hunt. I'll just use this opportunity then to talk about some of these games I put on my list and why I did. So we got Super Mario Bros. 3, Maniac Mansion, Metroid, SimCity, and Punch Out. Super Mario Bros. 3, I mean, this is just, in my opinion, and this might be kind of a hot take, but I do
It's
think
not a
this.
hot take. It's 3 or world. That's the acceptable answers.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I'm in the camp of 3, man. 3 is just such a great fucking game. It's so good. It's the perfect kind of 2D Mario platforming formula. There's just the great secrets, so much to discover. I totally understand why people prefer World, but I don't know, man. There's something special about Mario Bros. 3 to me, and that's probably because it's the first one that I can remember playing in great detail. I definitely owned this game when I had an NES, so definitely a lot of good memories with that one. Maniac Mansion specifically is an interesting story. So, the first time I ever even played Maniac Mansion was inside another video game. Days
Mhm.
of the Tentacle
Oh.
is a classic LucasArts game, and it's kind of a quasi sequel to Maniac Mansion because you get a lot of the characters that are in Maniac Mansion. You're just playing as them in Day of the Tentacle. It's kind of a weird sequel reboot kind of thing. I don't know how you want to describe it, but it's very interesting nonetheless. But basically there's a part where you have to give this guy you basically have to distract this guy and you fuck up his hamster. I think you actually blow it up in the microwave if I recall, which is pretty fucked
Mhm.
up. But anyways, you blow up his hamster, he goes screaming, and then you can get on his computer and play the classic Maniac Mansion game in its entirety. And that's the first time I ever discovered it. So shout out Maniac Mansion. That's like one of the godfathers of like point and school or old school, I should say, point and click adventure games. So just awesome. Metroid continues to be my favorite NES or just Nintendo franchise in general, I think. And yeah, shout out Samus, shout out this the sci-fi vibes. Everything is so awesome. It's definitely like when you're looking back on it, it's the most dated Metroid game. Like Super Metroid just destroys it in every way, but it's still a great game for its time, and I think it does hold up and it's fun to play. Especially now that they've got some remakes of it out there, like Zero Mission. SimCity. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of fun I would have growing up and just like building these like, really cool cities and then just having fucking aliens come in and destroy the cities. Like it was just,
Mhm.
it was so fun to me to destroy my creation and all this time I had spent and just watching people flee and panic as these natural disasters ripped apart their cities. Just super fun. And then Punch Out, man. Punch Out was like I remember being obsessed with Punch Out when I was younger, and just trying to get to Mike Tyson and how hard some of these fighters was, and just what a difficult game it was for the time, and being younger and stuff like that. But that's another Nintendo franchise that's always stuck around with me that I've always appreciated because I don't know, I just find it super fun, and the characters are always interesting to see, like what kind of boxers they'd throw in there, and it's another game that kind of Super Punch Out took that idea and I think did it better, but still a classic game for its time.
Now, I got two things really to say. The other ones, I don't think I have much to say. What I will say is that SimCity, I was always jealous of the people who had a sim game, either The Sims or SimCity or any one of those on PC or even Civilization, because sometimes I wish that as a kid I had access to that on the computer because I'd be really interested to see how different I'd be, because I feel like those would have clicked my brain in such a good way that would have really fucked me up for life, and I would like to see what alternate universe that looks like. So now up to this point I'm very hesitant to do any of those because I almost feel like I'd get deep into those and it's like I don't know if I'd be able to get out. So for my own safety I avoid those. Now, Super Mario Bros. 3. Now, I knew this as Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. And I like this game, right? There's no problem with it. I have no problem with the actual game itself. I was very annoyed because I feel like the two carts that I got for this game on Game Boy Advance both had dead batteries, and this was before I understood the concept of how these games saved. So I got two different carts with the dead battery in there, and every time that I would save, it wouldn't remember it. So I would finish like 2 or 3 worlds, shut it off, and then I turn it back on, and it's like I saved. Why am I back at the beginning? And God, so at basically what I did at some point is that with the Game Boy Advance SP, I would just keep that game on entirely. I would close it and I would just charge it in between sessions, so like that thing never turned off. But yes, that's my own specific story with Super Mario Bros. 3. I really like this game. Damn, it is a fun 2D Mario. It is definitely better than 1. It is definitely better than 2. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a soft spot for Super Mario Bros. 2. I just like how weird it is, and when I remember it, it's this little weirdo across these two pillars that are like, this is Mario, and then like, this could be Mario as well. It's a little weird, but like, I like it. I really like 3 as well. I am a world boy though. I really like Super Mario World more. And I feel like that's because that was the one that I dug in so deeply into that I think it might be the only one like of the Mario games where I went hard in the extra levels that are supremely punishing. But yeah, no, Super Mario Bros. 3 absolutely go to the game. I have no problem if anyone chooses that over World when it comes to their favorite 2D Mario.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's got to be one of those two. As long as you pick one of those two, you're in the right ballpark there. And
Anything else might be a little
yeah,
contrarian or boomer.
yeah. If you're picking Mario Bros. 2, I don't know what to say to you, bro.
That's contrarian. Contrarian. This is
Yeah,
contrarian.
yeah, absolutely.
You're just trying to be different. All right. So I guess that was games. I have 3 movies here. Really, none of these. Well, I mean, not like I could have watched any of them contemporaneously, but I will choose the first one that I watched way too young. That absolutely stuck with me for really long. Scarface. This movie was so long. I don't think I ever watched it fully until like I don't know, whenever it came out on DVD, like in 2004. But I definitely saw so many pieces of this as a kid. Of course, you're doing the famous quote every single time. I don't want to say it again because it is so played out at this point that if no one on the planet Earth ever said it again, it still would be said too many times. But Scarface is just. It's one of those weird things where it feels like a little piece of Rosetta Stone for my taste because, Scarface feels like it's right there. It fits in perfectly with me enjoying GTA 3 later on. Well, I'm pretty sure the next episode I'm going to bring up Goodfellas because Goodfellas was another one that was just always on TV, and Scarface probably helped me to enjoy that as well. So, yeah, Scarface, just all of that helped influence a lot of my taste as well. There's another one that I'm going to get out of the way first here as well. Well, actually, I'm just gonna go. Hmm, excuse me. I'm just gonna say all three of them because why not? Cool Hand Luke. At my previous job, I had a coworker who this man knew movies. He was an older black gentleman. I haven't talked to him in so long, man. His name is Roger. I hope he's doing fine. I know that he had eye problems. I had another coworker who tried to raise money to help get a surgery for his eyes. I donated. I hope it's such a shame because I think about how this man was losing his eyesight, but also he is one of the few guys that I could talk movies with, and it's like, ah, damn it, man, that's so painful. I hope I never even followed up. I hope the surgery, you know, he still can watch movies, basically, is what I'm hoping to say. Anyways, he had told me about Cool Hand Luke, and he was just telling me about how Paul Newman just plays the coolest dude in this movie. And I downloaded it on a hard drive. And then one day, just an early meeting, I don't remember how, I just had my laptop with me or something like that, or I had some adapter that I could have connected to the TV, and I pulled it out. And since we were both at this meeting and we weren't clocked in until later on, it wasn't long enough to be able to go back home, but it wasn't short enough to just kind of be like, yeah, whatever. So I watched Cool Hand Luke in the break room at my previous job, and I was just so impressed that, like, it's in the title, man. Cool Hand Luke. Luke, that man's got a steady hand this entire movie. It's a movie about a guy who goes to prison. I don't even remember if he's rightfully going to prison, but it's a man who basically wins over literally everyone in that prison with his charm. And it's just a chill movie that is all about the personality. Now the other one is Heathers. I watched probably like more than 10 years ago at this point on the Independent Film Channel. Shout out to IFC. I love IFC. It was definitely one of those things that was very important to my taste and being able to get me to branch out into lesser known movies. Heathers being just this such a fucking dark comedy that, like, even doing this in the 80s, like, you could have probably gotten away with it in the 80s, and then every single year afterwards you would not be able to fucking do it, and then now you can't do it, to the point where Heathers was trying to get a rebooted TV show and the date kept getting pushed because another school shooting would keep happening, and so they kept having to push the date for Heathers because, like, well, out of respect, we can't show this yet. So, Heathers, this movie, all I know is that it is just everything that I really like when it comes to just really fucked up humor. So, yeah, those are the three movies that I have presented here: Cool Hand Luke, Scarface, Heathers. Dorian, you want to say anything about these before we present yours?
The only one I've actually ever seen is Scarface, obviously,
Of course,
which
of course.
is a top 5 movie of all time for me. I
Oh,
fucking adore
really?
Scarface. Yeah, I fucking
Uh,
love Scarface. Just a fucking great movie. It's interesting. I'll never forget the first time I ever saw this movie. I don't know if I've told this story on here before or not, but if I have, sorry, you're listening to it again, everyone. But the first time I ever saw this movie was in Scotland. My
no, you have
cousin
not.
is probably like one of the biggest cinephiles I've ever met. Like the guy I just this was back in God, when was this? Okay. When did 28 Days Later come out? Let's see, 28 days.
2002 or 3.
Okay. So this and because we watched 28 Days Later and Scarface back to back.
Maybe even
And
2001.
okay, and he had just gotten this movie, like, it was brand new for him, and so this is back in 2001. This man had,
Ah,
like
I nailed it right at the end.
good job. This guy has, like, fucking this guy has got, like, your shelf, you take, like, 5 of them. This was my cousin's fucking movie collection. It was massive,
Dude,
like, just
I gotta admit, this just
gigantic.
side note. I loved going to, like, it would either be family, friends, or okay, it would either be family or friends or my parents or family of friends, where you'd go to their house and you would see a huge stack of DVDs and you're like, holy shit, this person watches movies. Like, I always love that feeling. And then now, that streaming just absolutely ruined that.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in ages, man. I wonder if he's still collecting physically. I hope so. But yeah, no, he had a gigantic collection, and yeah, we watched 28 Days Later and Scarface back to back. And I don't like, I never did like 28 Days Later. That's one of my big hot takes. I'm not a fan of that movie, but we watched Scarface right after that, and yeah, that was just so memorable to me, and I've never forgotten that. Just watching with him and my family, and the movie's just stuck with me forever. I've seen it multiple times now since, and I watched it in theaters, which was awesome.
Dope.
And yeah, just a tremendous movie. I cannot praise that movie enough. I think for me, and I know this is probably a hot take too, but out of those kind of big three gangster mobster movies everyone talks about, it's the most rewatchable to me over Goodfellas and Godfather.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
the hot take.
Scarface.
Holy shit.
I just think it's so incredibly rewatchable, and not taking anything away from Marty and Goodfellas, because it's obviously incredibly rewatchable as well. And The Godfather is certainly, when it comes from how the movie's made, it's one of the best movies ever made. Period. But I just fucking love Scarface.
You know that Dormammu thing from the first Doctor Strange, like, Dormammu, I'm here to bargain, and he just keeps dying and keeps coming back and coming back. You could Dormammu me by just putting on Goodfellas and then just cutting out the credits. Like, you could literally just end the movie, and then I'm just like, well, okay, I'm done. And then literally all I wanted to be was a gangster, and I was like, well, Goodfellas is on, I gotta sit down. And then the
Yeah,
movie
no,
ends, and it's like,
that
well, I gotta get up and do something, and it's like all I wanted to do was be a gangster. I'm like, well, shit, Goodfellas is on, I gotta sit back down.
yeah, that's basically me with Scarface, to be honest with you. Like, I could rewatch that fucking thing that many times. So I love that movie so much.
But yeah, Scarface. I think like the first time that I actually watched it entirely was when my cousins had it on DVD, and like around that early 2000s. And I just remember it was probably a sleepover, because like, how the fuck are we really gonna watch a 3-hour movie any other time if it wasn't a sleepover? And just I remember so strikingly the chainsaw scene. And I just remember thinking, holy shit, that is the most violent thing I've ever seen. And then you go back and you watch it again and you realize, oh, a lot of this is implied. And it's just like, honestly, though, probably the most violence, like, even then and now, I still think like the most like violent thing is when Al Pacino puts his face into the shower curtain, and they just throw like a fucking just vat of blood at him. It's like, oh, it's fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I find incredible about
Hmm.
Scarface and just in general, I just think for me it's the prototypical, like, when I look at that movie, it's you see Al Pacino in that role and just what he's able to do, and going from like taking that Tony Montana, which is such an over the top kind of ridiculous kind of character,
He
and
is.
then translating to what he did in The Godfather as Michael. Uh, I mean, it's just two completely different characters, but in that same kind of mobster vein. And I fucking love it. Like, he was so talented. I mean, he still is talented. Don't get me wrong, but just being able to see what that man was able to do with those two movies, I think it's incredible. And transition, because The Godfather's in my list as well. That's why I mentioned that as well. But yeah, he's just great in all that shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, 80s and before. I was thinking, wait a minute, The Godfather isn't in the 80s. He's still
No, yeah,
good.
I definitely took a
No, no,
liberal
no, no.
use
That was the rules that we
before.
set. That was the rules we set. I'm dumb. I just don't remember my own rules.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, are you good? I'll
Yeah,
mention mine
yeah, I'm
now.
good. Go ahead, go
Yeah,
for it.
so Godfather, obviously, we've talked about the Godfather on here. I could not disrespect any list without having the Godfather on here. That's why it's on here. Blade Runner also. I know we've talked about Blade Runner, but Blade Runner is such an important fucking movie to me. It has to be on this list. I cannot overstate how incredibly important that movie is to me. Just as a science fiction movie, just as what it kind of opened my eyes to. Just even the setting. I love the sci-fi cyberpunk setting so much now because of that fucking movie. So
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and I just want to say I, I, I fucking love Blade Runner. I really do love everything that goes on in that world. It is on the shelf. So is The Godfather. The Godfather's on the shelf twice. Okay, that's how much respect I have for that movie. All right. I'm just gonna say that these two I didn't pick because one. Both of these movies, nothing I could say is going to be good enough, okay? And then two, we've already given them airtime, so that's why I did not choose them. I swear it is not an insulting slight against them or anything. It's just like I'm just trying to put topics in here that we would have never hit naturally, and we hit. Oh, come on, both of those have come up naturally. Oh boy, how would they not come up naturally?
Yeah, absolutely they have. So no, for sure. It's just me putting them on here just because they're so important to me, but we've definitely talked about them for sure. And then the other thing I have on here, I don't think we've ever talked about these, and that's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Monty Python and the
We have
Holy
not.
Grail, and Taxi Driver. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, this is kind of one of the first movies I'd ever seen that really kind of just stuck with me and was like, oh, this is Kino, man. Like, this is fucking great. This is something my dad forced me to watch. Well, I say force, but I mean, I probably didn't want to watch it at the time, so that's why I say it. But yeah, he forced me to watch this with him. And just an incredible fucking film if you've never seen it. Jack Nicholson puts in. I mean, if you ever like see like Jack Nicholson's a weird one that you could like watch a couple of his movies and be like, I don't understand what the big deal is with this guy. Go back and watch this or The Shining, and you'll see pretty quickly why he's so highly regarded. But yeah, this movie's just incredible. I just love this movie to pieces, and it's definitely one of Milos's best in my opinion. And he's got some good bangers in there for sure. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I think that's just one of the funniest movies ever made, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely hilarious. It's in my personal top, probably top 30, I think, somewhere in that range. I just think this movie's fantastic. I'm obviously a big Monty Python fan in general, and it all stemmed from this movie. There's just so many quotable lines in it. There's so many just meme worthy and incredible like famous moments in this movie, and it just holds up. You can repeat watch this movie whenever you want. It's kind of another Scarface situation for me, where if I was walking by a TV and I saw this was playing, my ass would be planted and I'd be watching the rest of the movie, undoubtedly for sure. And then Taxi Driver. This is a bit of a weird one, but this is kind of a movie that almost like re-sparked my interest for movies. I actually didn't see this movie until just a few years ago. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. And yeah, like I was kind of just like completely almost out of love with movies, and I just hadn't watched them, and I was so into video games, and they just kind of fallen by the wayside. And yeah, I watched Taxi Driver, and that was a really good kick in the ass reminder that, oh fuck, movies are pretty fucking good, aren't they? And of course, it's Mr. Scorsese. You wouldn't expect anything less. But yeah, that was a great first time watch. I've seen it once more since then, and it's just a true classic. Uh, Again, the biggest hot take I could say is it might not like I think it's just outside of my top five for Scorsese, which fuck. I mean, it's
It's a
Scorsese, man.
murder's row, man.
It's a murder's row, but this movie is still incredibly special and important for what it did for me, and I think just to people in general. Like, it's so iconic, and it's amazing. So
Uh,
yeah.
Okay, there were three movies. Well, okay, I know that Godfather, Blade Runner, Taxi Driver, Holy Grail. What was the other one?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One full. Okay, yeah, that one. As soon as you said that one, I was just like, "Oh, god damn it, man!" Like I do. Jack Nicholson is one whose filmography I have just neglected so hard, and it makes me sad because I really would want to watch just a lot of his movies, and that is one that right there is like, "Oh, god damn it, man!" I don't know when I'm gonna be ready for it. I just know that that one deserves the theater room for it whenever I try to. So like that one's going to require planning instead of like me throwing Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Child's Play, like literally just back to back in the same day. Um, but the other two, Taxi Driver and Monty Python. So Taxi Driver, whew, man, I don't know when I'm gonna watch it. It definitely has to be soon because my wife is still currently in a Scorsese mood. She was the one who wanted to watch Wolf of Wall Street, however many weeks ago. We're gonna go watch Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm kind of hoping that 3.5 hours of Scorsese isn't enough to kill her drive, because if so, then we will watch Taxi Driver to satiate her a little more. Actually, maybe even no, no, no. We're doing things this Saturday. Well, maybe if Saturday night we're free, I might call over my sister-in-law and her husband to see if they want to watch Goodfellas, because my wife has been wanting to watch Goodfellas again. Which God bless Goodfellas. Anyways, yeah, Taxi Driver. I have the 4K cut of it. I'm just waiting for the right time to watch that one. And again, I feel like I want to get Goodfellas out of the way and then Taxi Driver. Monty Python for the Holy Grail, I'm actually kind of shocked that we haven't brought that one up. And I think it's probably because I'm thinking of Life of Brian instead. Monty Python for the Holy Grail is an absolutely just stone cold classic of a comedy. This is exactly what you said. It is endlessly quotable. It is just it's most of the time I do get annoyed of, God, it's wrapping all the way back to the beginning of the show when I said that a lot of times comedies annoy me if I can just watch YouTube clips of it, and it's like, well, why am I going to watch the entire movie? I can just watch a clip of it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is literally broken up into clips, but the clips are so fucking good that I just want to watch them in sequence back to back to back, and that's how good it is, that it makes me want to break my own rules and just still watch the entire movie.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's just fucking funny. And I actually like have you seen the other two, Life of Brian and Meaning of Life?
Yeah, no, Life of Brian I brought
Yeah.
up on the show, like
Okay,
that.
great. You have
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Okay, fair. You know me. I'm
Meaning
not
of
gonna
Life,
remember that.
I feel like I saw it on IFC, but I think I just wasn't giving it my full attention, so I don't remember it.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I think they're both funny and good movies,
Of
but
course.
the Holy Grail is just the fucking the epitome. It's just the classic Monty Python movie. And yeah,
Yeah.
like the clips are just great. Like whenever I see a bunny now, I just think, oh, it's got big teeth. Watch out! Like that. Literally, it doesn't matter. It can be a bunny riding in the wild. That's like the first thing that will come into my mind now because of that fucking movie.
So just the prolonged holy hand grenade scene. Like it's perfect. It's fucking thou shalt count to 3, not 4. 5 is out of the question. 2 is not long enough. And then said the holy hand grenade, pulleth thy pin. Like, it's, oh my god, it just keeps going and it only gets funnier and funnier and funnier. And oh my god.
If you've never experienced it, I highly recommend when you get some time, look up a YouTube video of somebody playing the Monty Python and the Holy Grail video game because it's
What
pretty
the
fucking
fuck?
hilarious.
What?
I still remember having that game as a kid and just trying it out, and like it was the most ridiculous thing. Like there were segments where I remember the start of the game. There's like it's like 100, it's like an excessive amount, it's like 100 or like 200 question survey you have to answer just to play the fucking game. And like, it literally makes you go through these like random obtuse questions you have to answer, and like there's like a couple, if you get wrong, it just closes the fucking game. It's just ridiculous. And then there's mini games where like you're trying to, like, when the French guys are throwing the like the things at you, you have to avoid them, but you can only turn right. Like you can't turn left. So it's always like right, right, right. I don't know why this stuff's ingrained in my head, but yeah, that was wild too.
I googled Monty Python video game, and what it gave me was one of the edits where they put Monty Python in Elden Ring. So I'm gonna have to watch
Oh,
that later.
and that would be good too, honestly. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh my god! But yes, no. But Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Oh my god, dude! Shout out to my what was it? US history? No. It was my world history pre-AP teacher, Miss Schmidt, I think. She was talking about the medieval times, right? Of serfdom and all that. And she showed us clips of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. God bless that woman. She knew what she was doing. She was getting kids introduced into this shit. And she showed us the Black Knight scene and the duck scene and the witches, and oh my god, those two clips are ingrained in my fucking brain, and just God bless Michigan. I hope how wherever you're out there, you're doing great, and God bless you for showing newer generations Monty Python, because I don't know how else I would have been exposed to it.
Absolutely. Shout out Monty Python. And yeah, shut up. For me, it was a PBS. I remember
Oh,
watching a PBS when I was younger. They would just be on there randomly. Is the Flying Circus, Monty Python, and the Flying
oh hell
Circus,
yeah.
and I would actually rent those from the library. I've got so many Monty Python stories. Me and a friend of mine, I remember for the talent show. Have you ever seen the Nudge Nudge Wink Wink sketch?
Yes.
We did that. We did did that bit for our talent show, and I remember we got in trouble after because
No.
it's pretty sexually
Yeah,
suggestive,
of course. It's
and we
this
kind
is
of
in the title.
oh yeah, and we kinda hid that, like, when we, like, did our rehearsal, but yeah, we ended up doing it, and it's fucking great. It was so much fun. "Your wife, she a shower, eh? Eh, you don't imagine that quick cinema squad."
Oh man, you just reminded me that I tried to watch like all of Flying Circus on Netflix, and then I think I just dropped off because college got busy. But man, oh god, I wish I remembered what Netflix account that was on because I would want to see where I was and then just pick back up because Monty
No
Python
shit.
is one of those ones that like
Oh,
I really want to just I want to get everything that I can to you guys.
there I mean, there's just so many classic sketches.
Yeah.
This is another one that I have so much regret that I've never seen these guys live. I had a couple opportunities to go, and I'm so mad at myself that I never did get a chance. So mad, but yeah.
All right, I think that's it. That's all we got for the
Yeah,
80s section, right?
yeah, it's all the 80s stuff, yeah.
Okay, so you know what? We'll just do truncated from here. Are there any things that you specifically want to give air to before we just kind of like give quick blurbs to what anything that we
Yeah.
saw the last 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I finished Todd Field. That was very good. But I mean, well, we'll see with all this fucking Zencastr stuff. I don't know if we'll get back to it. So maybe. But yeah, Todd Field was very good. I finished it. I loved it. It was a great game. I spent all of last episode sucking it off though, so I don't even know if we need more of that. But yeah, it was a great game. Loved the ending. Thought it was fantastic.
I-
So
In the Vegas
shout out Todd
terms,
Field.
how does the ending feel for you? Just 'cause I know you said you like it, but with everyone making so much about the new game plus and
Yeah,
how what is the Vegas terms that you could give me here?
clever.
Okay, good enough for
Yeah,
me.
very clever. And don't get me wrong, I still like. I think the proper way to play this game is do whatever you fucking want to do. Don't rush to the end. I think people that are saying that are wrong. I don't think you want to rush yourself to the end. I don't think it's ever a good idea in any video game, and I think that's doubly true here. But the ending is clever. It's very smart. And it kind of, without spoiling anything, it kind of forces you when you finish it, you do kind of have to play a few minutes of New Game Plus just to be like, all right, Todd, what did you cook here? Like, what the fuck are you doing? So you do see that, and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, no, it's very clever. That's what I would use to describe it.
All right, my Starfield update. I sent my watch back to Bethesda, and they should be sending me a new one at some point. They haven't told me that they've received it yet, but they are currently taking care of me and making sure that I get another watch. That's my Starfield update.
Perfect.
Um, all right, just okay. The things I want to say. Well, actually, you get your things out of the way because I
Sure.
know for sure that I feel like most of my things I can just kind of bullet point really quickly. So,
Okay. I mean, the only other two I really kind of want to mention,
mhm,
and I'll bundle them together because they're both kind of spoopy horror games,
mhm.
and that's Signalis and Eternal Darkness.
Oh
So
hell yeah!
yeah, so I did play and finish those. Signalis first. This was gifted to me by Moki, so I finally got a chance to play it. Funny enough, I was actually going to buy it. It was on sale, and then I forgot, and I was like, "Fuck." And then Moki gifted me, and he's like, "Fuck, I forgot it wasn't on sale," but he still gifted it to me. So we both kind of fucked up with that one, but that was funny. It's good. I do like it. I think for me, it didn't quite hit the same notes as it is for some other people, but it's definitely a good game. And I got to tell you, after coming from Starfield, I think I mentioned this last week, but coming from Starfield and like another game that like didn't have a fucking map, and then Eternal Darkness after has a map and it's garbage. It was so nice for Signalis to be like, here's a map that's actually really good. Here you go. And it's like, thank you, Signalis. And until some spoiler stuff happens, but I won't mention that. Anyways, no, but Signalis, it was really good. The tone and the atmosphere in this game were absolutely fantastic. But to me, this game is very Lynchian in the sense that you cannot try to understand this story. I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm sure there's definitely explanations for it, and maybe I'm just stupid and didn't get it. But it's kind of one of those things where, I think I'm fine not knowing, if that makes sense. I think that's kind of you with Lynch, right? Like you just don't care to know. You're
I,
just there
I
for the
don't
vibe.
Dude, man, just fucking confuse me. I
Yeah.
want you to hit this level of I want you to short circuit my brain to where I don't care to figure out the mystery. Just make me go, "Duh," and you did it.
Yeah, that is totally Signalis in a nutshell for me. But great vibes, great atmosphere. I really like that. There's multiple endings, and I must have got the most depressing fucking one.
So
And
you
so I was
won.
like, great, yeah, I won. I was like, that's perfect for me. This is depressing as hell. Jesus Christ. I did look up the other endings, and they're not as depressing, but still pretty depressing. So it kind of just fits the overall mood of the game. The music, you get a lot of like, so the soundtrack is solid, but then there's a lot of time where classical music gets injected, and
Oh,
you know me
hell
with
yeah.
classical music. Yeah, I just fucking love classical music, so that was great. Game tricks you a couple times, does some cool meta stuff. So yeah, overall, definitely an enjoyable experience. Even if I didn't love it, because I do have some issues. Like I think like it's funny, especially after playing Eternal Darkness, a game from 2002 that actually controlled really well. This didn't, and I think partially that might just be like, oh, we're doing a throwback survival horror game, so
Yeah.
it's going to control a little bit like shit. So I get that, like I totally understand that. And man, I gotta say, the inventory limit. Like I know that's a thing in survival horror games, but there's also usually a way, like at least in Resident Evil, where you can, you know, if you do some stuff, you get an upgrade, you get a couple more slots eventually throughout the game, and you don't here. You're stuck with six the entire game, and it wouldn't be even that big a deal, but there's some rooms where they overload you with items, and I get it's to kind of fuck with you because you literally can't take everything, but it's super frustrating because you're constantly wasting stuff. You have to leave all your weapons, and that you can bring one weapon with you. You can't bring more than one weapon with you because you just don't have the inventory space. So it kind of like you can't experiment with the weapons, and I just really wish there was a way to get a couple more item slots in there. Like eight even would have felt restrictive. Like eight items would have felt restrictive in that game. Six was just crazy low to me. But that's the choice they made, and you know I lived with it, and you know still beat the game. So I didn't even drop to baby easy mode. I did it normal too. So proud of myself. But yeah, fun game. And then Eternal Darkness quickly. Eternal Darkness is fucking rad. I love this game. I have played a little bit of this back on whenever it originally came out on GameCube. I never did finish it though. This game's fucking awesome. It is so unique for its time. Basically, you know, you kind of start off and you're like, oh, it's going to be a Resident Evil clone. You're this young girl. She's in a mansion, pretty spooky. But no, you basically turns into this game where you go back way into the past and you play as 12 different characters that each play a little bit different, each have different weapons and different abilities. You have three meters in the game: a health meter, a sanity meter, and a magic meter. And each of these characters like have different variations of those meters. So you get the one chode who's like super slow, uh no health, but has like super high sanity, which the sanity meter is the star of this game. It's basically your tolerance for psychological bullshit. Whenever you start to see creatures or monsters in the game, your sanity meter drops. And that's when the game starts getting fun. When your sanity meter gets low, spooky shit starts happening. The game starts glitching out and fucking with you. One of my favorite is I was playing this game, not particularly legally over emulator, sorry, folks. And I was, as I was playing, I got back to the mansion after like one of the levels, and it was because like in between each chapter you basically go back to the mansion, right? Like that's kind of the set piece in between. And one of my sanity meter was super low, and it's like, thanks for playing Eternal Darkness, check out the full game come this date. I was like, oh fuck,
Oh my god.
did I get like a fucking like demo wrong? And then like the game like flashes and it's like, nope, just fucking with you, that's the sanity
Oh my
meter. And it's like, oh,
god.
that one got me. Like I actually thought like I fucked up here. So it's brilliant how the sanity meter fucks with you, man. It does shit that like you would not expect, especially when you go back to that mansion, because for most of the game, there's nothing that can hurt you in that mansion. You're just exploring, collecting items and stuff like that. But if your sanity meter is low, it fucks with you, and it's really, really well done. So just a super special and unique game. It's unfortunately trapped on GameCube, so either you have a GameCube or you're emulating it. But if you get the chance, highly recommend you play it.
Yeah, I have played. Man, I don't even think I got to the second. No, not even. Well, okay, technically, since you're playing as the girl, she's the first character. I don't even think I got to like the third character in Eternal Darkness when I had tried it. I kind of have a not resentfulness, I guess hesitation, more of a hesitation to playing it just because I know I won't be able to play it on native hardware. If I did try to play it on native hardware, it's going to be expensive. And the other thing is that I feel like I know some of the tricks that the game is going to pull. And so I feel like that pushes me more towards wanting to play it native, because if I'm playing it native, I feel like it feels more natural to have the game play tricks on you on the native hardware than it does through emulation. Instead of thinking, oh, the emulation's messing up, you just are in like, oh no, this is the game doing this. Or even if you think that the console is messing up, then that almost feels your brain, if the console is messing up, it's a different fear of like, oh shit, it's fucking up. Instead, if I have an emulator messing up, my brain goes, all right, time to fix this. So like, I feel like I need to play that game properly, which basically stuns locks me away from playing it. All I know is that I want to, because everything that I've heard about this game feels so much like they saw the Psycho Mantis boss fight and said, what if we just made a horror game on that? And that sounds fucking awesome to me. So yes, that is one
Yeah,
that I want to get to at some point.
yeah, it's super rad and unique, and it's the kind of thing that like I from what I had from what I've heard of PT, Kojima had some shit like that planned too, and like that could have been. And it's like fuck, it's just another reason
Yeah.
why that whole thing makes me so disappointed.
That
But
was
yeah,
Silicon
no,
Knights, right?
you Silicon Knights, yeah,
Yeah, that
dude,
dude Kojima was in that
uh,
room, man. He
yeah,
must have
no,
been doing something there.
exactly. So he probably was like, man, these guys made something special here, and
Wait,
very
no,
unique.
wait. No, Eternal Darkness was, it was after Twin Snakes, no?
Yeah, sorry. Twin Sticks is what, 2001, right? 2000, 2001.
No, that's like 2004.
Well, oh no, then Eternal Darkness was first. Eternal Darkness was 2002.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's okay. So, in other words, they did that, and they're like, "Well, look, come on, Kojima, like, hand us Twin Snakes. Like, we handle some weird shit before."
they did a good job, minus the music, which we won't talk about that.
I just look, man. Kojima, great man. You should have never fucking told them to go off on their own. Just no. Make it straight up a remake. Don't go crazy with it. Just remake it.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, that's all for those. So for Signalis, it was a 3.5 out of 5 for me, and Eternal Darkness was a 4 out of 5. I've got like 7 things left, but I can bullet point most of these. So
All right, yeah, and I'm probably gonna bullet point most of my things right now, but Signalis, just very quick thing about Signalis.
oh
I
yeah,
have a
sorry,
physical
go ahead.
copy of it. I will do that at some point. I hear the vibes are good, so that just kind of has me thinking, okay, I'll get to you at some point. By the way, my physical stack is getting fucking terrible. Like, I'm not beating games right now, and literally the only game that I'm beating is Liza P, and that's a Game Pass game, man. There's no disc that I can throw away once I finish Liza P. Damn it.
Well,
So
now you can get back to Starfield, another Game Pass game.
just another Starfield that doesn't have, I'm not playing it on Game Pass. I'm playing it on Steam.
All right, yeah, it's still. I mean, hey, still no disc. So
The stack is not dropping, man. It just keeps going up.
oh
Dude,
boy.
I actually went in there and I cleared it out. I was like, okay, look, Death Stranding, you don't need to be sitting here. I already beat you. You don't need to be sitting there. Did I do anything director's cut? No, but you're just gonna go on the shelf, okay? Elden Ring, I know you have literally just the last boss that I need to do. You're just gonna go on the shelf. Like, I just started throwing things on the shelf because, like, dude, you don't, no. We need to get you out of this little waiting room now because it's stacking up way too high now. And then I bought Resident Evil again so I could replay it in VR, and it's like, oh my god, I'm not doing myself any favors. And the funny thing is that I keep looking over there. I'm like, all right, time to make some cuts. Which one of these games am I not going to play? And then every time I leave empty-handed.
Yeah, it's tough right now, and I mean for me, like I mean my backlog is already fucking gigantic. Um, so I'm naturally I'm replaying Final Fantasy VII on my Steam Deck right now.
and then the Metal Gear collection is next week.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I'm not touching that one until like I'm literally not opening the
what are
plastic
we
on
doing
that
it?
one. I'm buying it. But I'm literally not opening the plastic on it until I hear it's not fucked up. Then I will consider opening it and playing it at some point. But until then, I'm not even touching it.
Look, I already have a PS5 copy pre-ordered when I get the go-ahead that it's good, but that doesn't matter because I already basically bought it for my cousin, and I have access to it, and it's on Steam, so it's not like there. I literally have. I already spent the money. It's for him, so it's not like I'm gonna refund it if it's messed up. I'm just gonna go over to his house and mod it for him until it's fixed, and it's like, cool, that's yours now, and I just have access to it whenever. So yeah, I don't know. Oh boy, we're gonna be playing some Metal Gear. I'm just gonna, oh, bad God. Back to Scarface. Tony Montana at the end when he's like kind of like twitching up to that mountain of cocaine. That's me to Metal Gear. Except every time I don't get my head in, I'm letting my head get in next week.
Good luck.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, that's it. That's it. Bullet points from here. Liza P. This game is still very good. It is damn good compared to what FromSoft usually makes. This is the closest Coke that I've seen. This doesn't even feel like Pepsi or RC Cola. This is like no. This could totally pass for Coke. The only thing I would say, it is 11 zones in total. I feel like 10 zones would have been good. Like I don't know. I'm starting to kind of feel like, okay, all right, let's wrap this up. And now that I'm in the final zone, I no longer feel like that because I know, okay, look, cool, we're almost at the end. All right, but like zones 8 and 9, I was like, man, we need to kind of keep moving here a little bit. Or actually, 8, 9, 10 around there. I was like, we need to keep going. So yeah, Liza P. That's it. Shout out to the music though. Like anytime that they have a vocal track, oh fucking boy. All right, next. Eddie Murphy's Delirious. I actually did watch it. Yeah, that was solid. I think I enjoyed Raw more, but still Delirious. It's always nice to see Eddie Murphy be really funny. So there's that. That's out of the way. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I finished it. That was funny. It also, excuse me. It, honestly, just watching all of that and all the rebooted Beavis and Butthead, it just reminds me again, Mike Judge, he's a goat. He's a goat. That sent me to King of the Hill season 1 and 2 because I started grilling. I grilled 5 times last week. I burnt my hand really bad on the third day, and I still grilled 2 days afterwards. And I'm pretty sure that was the spirit of Hank Hill and my propane and propane accessories that was getting me through. So yeah, King of the Hill, pretty damn funny, very good dry humor, and I'm shocked how much endless juice there is to Dale Gribble being a cuck, and they just like they milk it endlessly. It's great. Pausing right there. Anything you want to say before I move on?
Well, just that John Redcorn is Nancy's friend, so not a cock.
No, well, I mean, someone's cucking him. We just don't know who. But oh,
Well, they're literally just friends though, right?
dude, just right now, the episode that I watched, like before we were recording, it was Nancy going, "You want a beer, honey?" And then both Dale and John Redcord say yes, and then Dale gives him a look, and then he whispers to himself, "How did John Redcorn know that I wanted a beer?"
Oh God, shout out to Dale, man! What a champ!
Everything Dale does is magic. It's golden.
Yeah, absolute champ, absolute champ.
All right, so I'm gonna keep going. Saw X. My plan,
Yeah,
my plan. I don't know what the fucking plan is now because if Zencastr's cutting off the spigot on free recordings, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might cancel it because shit, man, I'm not paying you guys. Which is that my plan was originally to have Sam and Raddick do an entire Saw episode with me, including Saw X. Raddick is pretty much almost done with the Saw movies at this point. I think he only needs to watch X. So I was going to figure out when to record that. But if Zencastr is going to be really annoying about this, I may try to see if they can record locally and then I edit the episode together that way. But man, like that's if Zencastr's not going to let me do it, oh boy, is that going to be kind of annoying. So yeah, Saw X though, that was, man, I cannot believe that I got another Saw movie that I liked. I can't believe it.
yeah. Look, is Saw X a good movie? No,
No.
but we're back into this 5 out of 10 range where it's like, okay, this is actually kind of enjoyable. And that's what Saw X was for me. I mean, the first half of this movie, I'm just like, why are we making John Kramer into this likable protagonist? My head was hurting.
Kind of funny.
My head was hurting, and then by the end of it, I'm just like, well, whatever. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm just, what the fuck are you doing, John Kramer? Like, what is this nonsense? And then the after credits scene made me spit my fucking coke out. Like, what is this nonsense now? So,
The after credits had me yelling and crying like the women are doing right now at the Taylor Swift era's movie.
I will say, I think you said it best on Discord. I hope they just stretch out this period between 1 and 2 for a ridiculous amount of time. Make it last the next 5 movies, please.
What I want, right, is like, okay, look, John Kramer and Amanda already look so fucking old that it looks like hilarious whiplash if you actually watch this in context. I want like fucking Amanda to have like 7 children in between Saw 1 and 2, and then all of them die, so it just makes sense in Saw 2 why she doesn't have kids. Like, I want them to get so fucking stupid, because like I'm pretty sure it's already established that between Saw 1 and 2 is like 6 months to a year in between that. So like I want them to just like make it some stupid shit where it's like so obvious that 10 years has passed between these two things, and yet they're like, no, but like there was only 1 year between Saw 1 and 2. It's like, but every single fucking day between that year was the most packed shit that Jigsaw and Amanda were doing.
It sounds like Saw.
Oh my god, time bullshit is like an underrated feature of Saw. All right, I'll bullet point the next few things. Zoolander. It was 90 minutes. I decided to put it on. Hey, that was funny. I always love a good sneaky David Bowie showing up out of nowhere. And then from here, it's just Nightmare Friday and Child's Play. I already said my piece on that. So yeah, that's it. I got everything there.
Shout out Zoolander. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
All right. So quickly here, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line. I've actually been playing a ton of this game. It was a great, perfect side game for when my deck was like dead and needed to charge. It's just nice. You could throw it on for like half an hour, do a few songs. So I've been slowly working my way through every album. Shout out Final Fantasy. Which one was it? The MMO one. Fucking the music in there.
14.
Yeah, 14. There's some bangers, man, in that soundtrack. Good shit.
I mean, you know why. Same composer as 16.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, no, definitely some bangers there. And I had the biggest selection. There was like 30 something songs there for that. So huge amount there. But yeah, enjoying that. Gonna keep playing that. It'll get a little slower once Spider-Man 2 comes out, because that'll be my main game going forward on PS5. But yeah, I've been playing that, so it's fun. Spark the Electric Jester. Para gifted me this. Would I ever fucking play this game? Would I ever play this game on my own? Absolutely not. Was it better than I was expecting? Yes, it was.
It's not a real game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong there. It doesn't feel like a real game.
It doesn't sound like one. It's not. It's a fucking psyop.
It's better than Sonic, and that's basically
psyops are better than Sonic.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say about it. 3 out of 5. The Messenger, of course, a great podcast. Why you should play Poot. I still haven't listened to this episode, so hopefully I'll try.
By the way, you idiot! Like, they're spoiler free. Like, I know, but listen to them before you play the game. That's the whole point of the show.
I like the context. Having played it though, I don't know, I'm just weird that way. Like, I like being like, oh yeah, I can agree with this or I can disagree with this because I played the game. I feel like if I haven't, I'm like a fraud. I don't know.
That's the whole point of the show. You're listening to it as intended.
It wouldn't be the first time the point's been lost on me, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. But Messenger, good game. I enjoyed it, actually. Really fun. I do definitely think Sea of Thieves, I was going to say, Jesus. Sea of Stars. I definitely think Sea of Stars is better personally. But, Messenger was good. Definitely a game of two halves for me. First half, great, fantastic. Second half, not as much, but still enjoyed it. Really cool art style, great music. So definitely fun, worth playing. And if you'd like to know why you should play it, check out Boots Podcast. Dumb Money. Yeah, that was a movie. It was honestly, it was better than I was expecting. I'm a big Paul Dano simp, so shout out Paul Dano. What's the name of that director? Craig Gillespie. Is that his name? Gillespie. He makes solid shit. So I mean, he did I, Tonya and what else did he do? I can't think of the other one he did, but he makes solid movies. They're funny. They're good. This was well made too. The whole GameStop story is kind of stupid to me, but I was like, this presented in an interesting enough light that was like, okay, it's actually not bad. He's a talented enough director to make it work, so it was okay. And then The Exorcist and The Exorcist Believer. Oh boy. Exorcist, great movie, classic, awesome movie. Watch it if you haven't. One of the better horror movies of all time. Was going to be coming up on an episode of An Hour to Kill, but with all this shit now, who the fuck knows? So we'll see. But Exorcist, fantastic movie. Just one of the goats in my opinion. The Exorcist Believer. It's like you took every wrong message about that movie, and then you're like, okay, like the point of The Exorcist is like the possessed girl, right? So what if we have two possessed girls? And the studio heads are like, brilliant, brilliant, 400 million, 400 million. Jesus fucking Christ. Movie's bad. I don't think it's as bad as some people are saying. Like, it's not like one of the worst movies I've ever seen or anything like that. But it's bad. It's a shameless cash grab. It was made by somebody who does not understand what made the original special. And yeah, that guy really just needs to stay the fuck away from horror, man. I mean, the Halloween, okay, like Halloween's already kind of been ruined by now. He made one good Halloween movie in that trilogy. Enough now. Go away. Go back to your fucking comedy movies. Just stay the fuck out of horror, please. Enough. I really hope they don't go through with this plan, the Exorcist trilogy they were going to do. But I mean, they kind of have to because they spent $400 million on the fucking
No, they
rights.
don't, man. If this one didn't make money, it's like scrap it, scrap it.
That's true. They might just do that. But and yeah, that's all I have. That's it.
So, two things I want to touch on. One, I watched the Redler media review on The Exorcist Believer. I well, the spoilers, who cares? Whatever. The fact that they have to team up all the religions to do The Exorcist might be one of the funniest fucking things I have ever heard. Especially right now with Israel and Palestine fighting each other right now. That makes it so much fucking funnier to me.
Did you see my Letterboxd review?
No, what?
What are we? Some kind of Exorcist squad? I was literally just waiting for them to say that, man, because it's like this ragtag group of fucking, oh, the priest won't do it. Like, I can't. We don't have permission from the Vatican. All right, I guess we got to do this exorcism. Oh my God. Man, it's just ridiculous. It's so stupid.
The thing is that, like, I'm imagining it, like, in a super cliche way where, like, you know how there's always that thing in a movie where it's like, well, no, they're too powerful, we can't take them out. It's like, well, what if we work together? We can do it! And then they start having, like, chain attacks and all that and start pulling it off. I just like imagining, like, one's throwing a yarmulke at it, the other one's throwing a crucifix at it, the other one is throwing their shawl at it. It's like, we're doing it! We're teaming up and taking out the demon!
The best part, which by the way, we're in full spoilers now, so I don't care if you're mad about this movie being spoiled. Yeah, the best part is like halfway through the exorcism, like they're down, they're losing, they're obviously not winning, and then the priest comes in to save the day. He's like, "I'm gonna do the exorcist now. I don't care. I'm gonna be the exorcist." And he comes over to the girls and's like, "I'm gonna like save you," and he does this thing for like 30 seconds, and then he gets his head snapped. Like that's great. Like, yay. What great. Which, by the way, it's stupid because if you've ever seen the original Exorcist, that's what the movie's about. The Exorcist. Like, it's literally about him. Like
the crisis of faith.
The crisis of faith, the feeling, like what he sees in Regan, the demons torturing him with his own thoughts about his mother. Like, it's literally about him. The Exorcist in this movie is maybe in it for 2 minutes. If I'm being generous, he is barely in this fucking movie. So they completely missed the plot with what this movie was supposed to be about. And then it becomes this weird like thing where he's like the demon, like when he basically, there's a sad backstory about his wife, and his wife's like dying and they can only save either her or the baby. And he picks her. He picks the wife, but the wife dies anyways, and the baby survives. And now it's like, oh, you picked the wife. Like, how could you? It's like, what are you doing? What are you trying to, like? Why are you spraying this on me? Why is? Oh, fuck. It's just a bad movie. It's not good. No, it's stupid. I mean, there are some funny bits in it. That's honestly why it gets a 2 out of 5 for me, because I could at least laughed a few times at it. And I mean, there was like a moment, like the first like 20 minutes. I was like, maybe this will actually be not as bad as I know it's bad. So, yeah, it's not like 1 out of 5 bad, like, which is reserved for shit I just fucking loathe. I don't hate this much, but yeah, it's not a good movie.
All right. The other thing, The Messenger. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I would want to play this one handheld, and the Vita just like stares at me and it's like, man, I wish you were on Vita. So what I'm just gonna say is that I'm just gonna keep an eye out for whenever it's on sale on Switch. Which, actually, saying that, I should probably go on. By the way, shout out to Switch, because if you add things to your watch list or whatever the hell it's called, it will actually remember to email you whenever it goes on sale. So I should probably do that right now. But yeah, the Messenger, it's literally $5 on Gym Station right now. But I'm sorry, Jimbo. Like, I want to play it handheld, so you were
I
not going
mean,
to get
you
my
always
$5 for it.
could. You always could with the power of PlayStation Portal.
I want you to grab the nearest USB-C cable that you have and hang yourself with it.
Done.
Don't you ever bring up the fake PSP in my fucking presence ever again.
Okay.
The the
Does work well on portable though. I of course played the entire thing on Steam Deck, so
Oh yeah, of
very
course. No, I
worked
mean, like,
very well on there.
like, I don't know why my brain goes for 2D platformers. Like, ooh, this is gonna be good handheld, but that's not really true entirely, because whenever oh, words are escaping me. Whenever I get Super Mario Wonder, that one's gonna go on the TV, because I'm probably gonna hand a controller to my wife and absolutely piss her off as soon as I just play like she's not even there.
Smart move.
Oh, she's gonna be pissed when I just leave her in the dust. All right, there we go. The Messenger has been added to my watch list. There we go. Thank you, Nintendo. Email me when it's on sale. Because $20, I'm fine. I can spend $5 and then just forget I even bought it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I paid $8.
All right. Yeah, that's it. We're good. We're on the episode.
That's it.
All right. So I guess from here there might actually be 2 episodes left. Thank you, Zencastr.
Thank you for finally doing what we. I mean, we were trying to. Fuck, you didn't have to be so rude about it. We were on the way out.
Yeah,
Jesus.
seriously, they were negotiating. We were like, okay, look, 5 more episodes, like 3, take it or leave it.
No shit. Jesus Christ.
All right, cool. We're done. End card.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show, a big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.